Why do empaths cause the most intense jealousy, especially in the people who say they love them? You share a moment of real joy, hoping for a connection. Instead, you are met with a sudden coldness, a sharp, mean comment disguised as a joke, and you are left wondering what you did wrong. Most people believe these reactions happen because you are too sensitive, but Carl Jung suggests something much more shocking is happening under the surface. To these people, your empathy is not a gift. It is a psychological intrusion that threatens their very identity. In this video, we will look at 7 psychological reasons why your presence causes envy instead of closeness, so you can finally stop protecting the relationships that are secretly hurting you. It all starts with the heavy weight of feeling what is meant to stay hidden. In popular culture, empathy is seen as a warm and fuzzy way to connect. But in the cold reality of how the mind works, empathy is a type of intrusion. It is the inability to be lied to. This is what makes you dangerous. Most people live behind a thick mental wall that Carl Jung called the persona. The persona is the social mask, the polished version of the self that a person shows the world to get approval and avoid trouble. It is a necessary tool for living in society. But for the people who tend to hurt you the most, those with narcissistic traits or deep hidden issues, the persona is not a tool. It is a bunker. They have become one with this mask because what sits behind it is too painful, too messy, or too empty for them to look at. When you talk with them, you do not just see the mask. You feel the difference between the mask and the reality underneath it. You are walking into a room where a couple has just had a screaming fight, but now they are sitting on the couch smiling, asking how your day was. A normal person accepts the smile. They accept the social deal that says, "We are pretending to be happy, so you should pretend to believe us." You cannot do that. You physically feel the stress still hanging in the room. You sense the sharp edge in their voice. You feel the hidden anger vibrating off them like heat off a road. You might not say a single word. You might sit there and drink your tea and smile back. You might believe your silence keeps you safe. It does not. Your nervous system is screaming that something is wrong, and because you are not hiding it well enough, they know that you know. This set off a deep alarm in them. Jung noted that the unconscious part of one person speaks to the unconscious of another without a word being said. Even if you never speak your thoughts, they feel naked in your presence. They feel the sensation of being exposed, which is impossible to handle for a person whose entire mental stability depends on keeping up an act. You have likely tried to comfort someone who was acting tough. You saw through their fake strength and asked a kind question about their pain. You expected them to soften or open up. Instead, they snapped at you. They looked at you with sudden, sharp anger. You thought you were offering a helping hand, but to their mind, you are peeling off their skin. You are taking away their main survival trick, the ability to lie to themselves. They see your insight not as closeness, but as spying. In their mind, they have locked the door to their inner world, but you are somehow standing inside the room. They do not see your empathy as understanding. They see it as a violation of their privacy. This creates an immediate, unspoken threat. The person hiding behind the mask relies on the agreement that everyone else will accept the act as real. They need the audience to believe the lie so that they can believe it themselves. You are the audience member who is not clapping. You are the one looking at the wires and the stage props. This is why they often become stiff, guarded, or annoyed for no reason when you are just trying to be close. Your closeness feels like an attack. You are taking away their ability to control the story. They cannot relax around you because relaxing would mean dropping the mask, and dropping the mask would mean facing the dark side they are running from. You assume that if you are just kind enough, safe enough, or patient enough, they will eventually let you in. You follow the logic of intimacy, where safety leads to openness. But they follow the logic of defense, where being seen leads to destruction. Your ability to feel what they hide does not make them feel safe. It makes them feel hunted. This setup starts everything that follows. You are not just a partner or a friend. You are a witness to the truth they are trying to kill. And because you see the truth, you become the target of the defense system designed to protect the lie. If you are ready to stop doubting what your gut is already showing you, subscribe to the channel. We are building a library of insight, a place for those learning to get back to reality. But seeing the truth is only the start of the problem. In the next part, we will explore why your presence does not just scare them, but actively ruins the peace they think they have. At the start of the relationship, they were likely drawn to you with a strength that felt like destiny. This is common. The person living in a fake reality is often very tired. Keeping up a mask takes a huge amount of mental energy. It takes work to constantly watch your own behavior, to hide your feelings, and to fix an image. When they meet you, they sense your depth and your ability to hold space. They unconsciously hope that your warmth will quiet the anxiety of their act. They want to rest in your light, but this attraction always turns into a push away. This shift is not an accident. It is mechanical. As the relationship goes on, the very thing that drew them to you, your honesty, starts to mess up their inner balance. Jung described the mind as a system that tries to stay balanced. For a person who is hiding large parts of their personality, their shame, their anger, their weakness, balance is kept by keeping these things buried. They reach a shaky peace by ignoring the basement of their own mind. They live entirely on the ground floor, pretending the basement does not exist. When you enter their life, you mess up this balance. You are an activator because you are connected to your own deep self. Your presence acts like a tuning fork. When you are near them, you cause the hidden parts of their mind to vibrate. You do not need to say anything smart. You do not need to study them. Simply by being someone who feels deeply, you stir up the dirt they have let settle at the bottom of their soul. They start to feel strange discomfort when they are around you. They might feel a sudden wave of sadness they cannot explain, or a flash of anger that seems to have no reason. They might feel worried or restless, unable to sit still. Think back to the last time you sat in silence with them. Did the air in the room suddenly feel heavy? That was not your imagination. You see this when you are sitting quietly reading or working and they start pacing, checking their phone, or turning on the TV to fill the silence. They are not bored, they are agitated. The silence you are okay with is deafening to them because in the silence, their buried thoughts start to come up. They will almost always blame these feelings on you. Worry alone does not turn into hate. Envy appears when they realize that you are not bothered the way they are. You are able to feel without falling apart. You are able to sit with discomfort without running from it, and this contrast silently shows their inner weakness. They will say you are being difficult or that you are stressing them out even though you haven't spoken in an hour. But in reality, what they are feeling is the return of their own hidden emotions. Jung taught that what is buried does not go away. It just loses its connection to the main self. It stays alive in the shadow. Your presence makes the bridge between their conscious mind and their shadow stronger. You make the walls of their hiding spots thinner. This is a scary experience for them. They have spent a lifetime building a world where they do not have to feel certain things. They have set up their job, their habits, and their friends to avoid looking inside. You represent the exact opposite of that avoidance. You represent the call to be aware. To the hidden mind of the false lover, you are a troublemaker. You are ruining the peace of their ignorance. They cannot simply be themselves around you because their version of being themselves is an act, and the act feels fake when you are in the audience. They find themselves unable to stay numb. If they usually ignore their conscience to get ahead at work, they find it harder to do that when you are watching, even if you don't judge them. If they usually lie to themselves about being happy, they find the lie tastes bad when you are there. You are a reminder of a reality they do not want to live in. This trouble creates a tension that must be fixed. Since they are unwilling to fix it by facing their own darkness, they must fix it by getting rid of the source of the trouble. They cannot change their inside, so they must try to change your outside. They need you to stop being so deep. They need you to stop being so observant. They need you to stop ringing the bell that wakes up their demons. They will try to force you back to the surface. You might try to start a talk about the future, about your dreams, or about a fear you have. They will cut you off with a joke or tell you that you are overthinking. They will pull away if you try to hold eye contact during a serious moment. They are trying to get back the numbness that you accidentally broke. They are fighting for their right to stay unaware. You think their restlessness is a sign that you need to try harder to please them. You think if you can just make them happy, the tension will go away. You do not realize that your trying is not the problem. Your being is the problem. You are the alarm clock ringing in the middle of a dream they do not want to end. Let me know you felt this by leaving one word below: unsettled, a sign that your inner peace was messed up for a reason, even if you could not name it yet. The trouble you cause eventually turns into something more permanent. In the next part, we will look at how this hidden anxiety turns into a resentment that hides in plain sight. The change from discomfort to resentment is often so quiet that the empath misses it until the damage is deep. You are waiting for a fight or a moment where they clearly say they do not like you. But in these cases, the hate rarely shows itself with a shout. It arrives as a quiet, steady coldness. Envy and resentment here are not about what you have. They are about what you are. Jung made a clear point between the conscious want for an object and the hidden resentment of who a person is. They do not necessarily want your job, your looks, or your life. They resent the substance of your soul. They resent that you are real in a way they are not. This resentment is hard to spot because it lives at the same time as words of love. They may still say, "I love you." They may still act like they are in a relationship, but the feeling of the bond has changed. The warmth has been sucked out. You notice it in small moments. You come home excited about a small win. Maybe a stranger was kind to you, or you had a creative idea. You share this with them, expecting them to be happy too. Instead, there is a tiny delay, a blank look, then a fake smile, and a comment that technically answers you but emotionally ignores you. "That's nice," they say, turning back to their phone. The words are polite, but the energy is cold. Or think about when you are in pain. You are crying, feeling weak, perhaps dealing with a loss. You look at them for comfort. A healthy partner feels your sadness with you. Their face softens, their body moves in, but the false lover watches you with a flat, cold look. It is as if they are watching a bug in a jar. They might offer a tissue or say, "It will be okay," but you feel like you are hugging a statue. This is the sign of hidden envy. It is a passive-aggressive war. They are not trying to destroy you openly because that would make them the villain, and their mask requires them to be the good partner or loyal friend. Instead, they are trying to wear you down. The mental goal of this resentment is to lower your value. If they can make you feel small, confused, or unsure, the gap between your realness and their fakeness seems smaller. If they can bring you down to their level of sadness, they no longer feel like they are less than you. They start to hold back the very things they know you need to do well. They know you value deep connection, so they give you small talk about the weather. They know you need support for your ideas, so they argue against everything you say, pretending it is just a smart debate. They know you need emotional safety, so they act in ways you cannot predict, not calling when they said they would, or changing plans at the last minute without saying sorry. This holding back is a power move. It is a way of taking control over the one thing they feel you have plenty of: life force. By starving you of connection, they prove to themselves that they are the one in charge. They turn the relationship into a dry place where they control the water. You often react to this by explaining too much. You think that maybe they just did not understand what you meant. You think that if you make your goals clear, the warmth will come back. You pour more of yourself into the empty space, hoping to fill it up. But the empty space is not a mistake. The empty space is a weapon. It makes you feel like you are going crazy, doesn't it? Being in a relationship but feeling lonelier than if you were totally alone. Please understand, you are not making up the coldness. You are simply the only one brave enough to feel it. They are resentful because your very life highlights their own inner poverty. Every time you show real passion, it reminds them of their boredom. Every time you show courage, it reminds them of their fear. They are keeping score in a contest you do not even know you are in. This resentment is safe for them because they can deny it. If you face them and say you seem distant or unhappy with me, they will lie to you. They will say you are imagining it. They will say, I'm just tired, or why do you always start drama? They will use your sensitivity against you, claiming you are seeing mean intent where there is none. But your gut is not lying. The connection is rotting from the inside out because it is being poisoned by the envy of a life not lived. The tragedy is that they do not hate you because you are bad. They resent you because you remind them of the good things they gave up to keep their mask. You are the living proof of the bad deal they made with their own soul. This resentment is born from a specific trick that Jung called the mirror. In the next part, we will look at why your reflection is the most painful thing they can look at, but the danger you pose goes beyond just seeing through their mask. Your presence shows what they have spent a lifetime hiding. The idea of the mirror is key to understanding why the false lover turns against the empath. You are not just a person watching their life. You are an active reflector. When you stand before someone, you do not just show their physical face. You show their mental reality. Most people surround themselves with others who support their fake persona. They choose friends and partners who believe their story. If a man sees himself as a misunderstood genius, he hangs out with people who nod at his ideas and blame the world for his failures. If a woman sees herself as a victim, she finds people who will pity her and tell her she is right. These people are not mirrors. They are paintings. They are still images meant to support a lie. You are a true mirror. Because you see the truth, you show the truth. When they look at you, they do not see the lie they built. They see the reality of who they are, and more importantly, they see the person they could have been but failed to become. Jung spoke of the unlived life as a strong mental force. Every person has a path they are meant to follow to become their whole self. When a person says no to this call, when they choose safety over growth and acting over truth, that unlived life does not go away. It sits in their shadow, turning into bitterness. You represent that unlived life. You are walking the path they were too afraid to take. You are feeling the things they were too afraid to feel. When they look at you, they are forced to see the gap between who they could be and who they are. There are people who always wanted to be artists, but chose a boring, safe job to please their parents. They have pushed down that dream for 20 years. Then they meet you, and you are living creatively, maybe not even as a professional artist, but just in the way you dress, speak, or decorate your home. You are full of life. You take risks. When they look at you, they don't just see you. They see the ghost of the artist they killed in themselves. This set off a deep shame. Shame is the most painful emotion because it is a judgment on yourself. It says, I am flawed. I am a coward. I wasted my time. To avoid this shame, they must break the mirror. They cannot admit they are jealous of your ability to be real. To admit that would be to admit they are fake. So the mind makes a defensive move. It decides that the problem is not the person in the mirror, but the mirror itself. They start to criticize you. They tell you that you are flawed. They tell you that your way of living is wrong. dangerous, or embarrassing. They try to bend the glass so it no longer shows a clear picture. If they can convince you that you are the broken one, they no longer have to believe the truth you are showing them. This shows up when they pick apart the things that make you special. If you are kind-hearted, they tell you that you are naive and need to grow up. If you are intuitive, they tell you that you are not being logical. They are trying to shrink you down to a size that does not scare them. They need you to be small so they can feel big. They need you to be confused so they can feel sure. They are using you to fix their own self-esteem. This is why you feel a constant pressure to make yourself smaller when you are around them. You find yourself speaking more quietly, hiding your wins, or pushing down your joy. You catch yourself almost saying sorry for being happy. You are trying to stop being a mirror to save the relationship. You are trying to fog up the glass so they do not have to see themselves. But you cannot stop being what you are. Even in your silence, you show the truth. Even in your attempt to be small, your true self stays. And as long as you stay, the reflection stays. They cannot run from the truth of their own life as long as you are standing there witnessing it. This creates a terrible situation where they need you and hate you at the same time. In the next part, we will look at how this turns you into something they depend on. At some point, things change, and you become the source of energy they no longer have. Jung used the term libido to describe not just physical desire, but the total of life energy, the life force that drives will, creativity, passion, and connection. It is the fuel that makes a human being feel alive. The person who lives behind a mask is cut off from this energy. By denying their true self, they have cut their link to the deep source of energy inside. They are running on batteries, and their batteries are always draining. Keeping up a lie is tiring. Hiding feelings is tiring. Playing a part 24 hours a day uses up a lot of fuel. They are in a state of constant emotional hunger. You, on the other hand, are plugged into the source because you are open, because you feel, and because you face reality as it is, even the hard parts. You have access to a steady supply of life. You have the spark. This creates a parasitic relationship. They attach themselves to you, not because they want to share life with you, but because they need to eat your life to keep their own act going. You act like their external battery pack, and this need is exactly what drives their jealousy. Every time they use your energy, they are reminded that they cannot create it on their own. They envy the very source they depend on, but cannot become. This explains the confusing way they seem to dislike you yet refuse to let you go. If they truly hate you, why do they stay? Why do they keep calling and coming back? They stay because they are feeding on you. You can see this in how they handle your emotions. They might come home in a terrible mood and dump all their work stress and anger onto you. They talk for hours, complaining and shouting. You listen and try to understand, absorbing all their stress. By the end, they feel great and much lighter, while you feel physically sick. You have a headache and feel a heavy weight on your shoulders. This is a transfer of energy. They have moved their toxic feelings onto you and taken your calm energy for themselves. They feel better because they used you as a trash can and a charging station at the same time. They also create chaos on purpose. A quiet weekend is painful for them because their internal battery drains in the silence, so they start a fight over nothing. They accuse you of using a tone you didn't have or bring up mistakes from years ago. They keep pushing until you finally snap. When you cry or yell, they sit back and stay calm. They watch your emotions with a hidden sense of pleasure. To someone who feels dead inside, your anger and tears feel like a burst of life. It makes them feel real because they can cause such a strong reaction in you. But there is a twist. They resent the very need they created. Every time they take from you, they are reminded of their own emptiness. Dependency creates hatred. No adult wants to feel like a helpless child who needs someone else to manage their feelings, but that is exactly what they are. They are emotional infants relying on your strength.